Let's go.
Bradley's sipping her water.
Ugh, is that just
Proud
water?
of you, queen. It's coffee,
Yeah,
probably.
but I'm ready to go, guys. I'm ready. I'm like, it's
You're
like my
always
bedtime.
locked in, yeah.
So I'm like ready to rock it.
Bradley's always locked in. Thank you so much. I
This
love
was
you.
hard.
Bretley
He
has
made it.
never not been locked in, honestly. I've never known a Bretley that was like not ready to ride.
No,
Oh,
so
really?
true.
Okay,
No,
queen.
never.
I
Never.
Not ready
appreciate
to
that.
ride.
I'm
Yeah, and
always
that's
ready
something
to
I
go.
deeply admire, honestly.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
that is
We'll
one
get
of your
into
best
all the
qualities.
deets about that.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Brick and Brand, a podcast at the intersection of retail and entrepreneurship. We're your co-hosts, Delaney and Bretley Roche.
So you might be wondering why there's a third voice that sounds exactly like Bretley and I on the camera today.
You're not
And
going
that's-
crazy.
Yeah, you're not going crazy. There is actually 3 of us. And shockingly, we all have different hair colors, which I'm just now noticing because we're side by side on the camera. But this is the one and only third sister in the Roche family, and we basically had to strangle her and rope her in to get her to do this. No, I'm just kidding. She was very willing. And she's also the comedian of the household. So we are so blessed and thankful to have her here with us today to keep a smile on our faces. And there's honestly no one else I'd rather be looking at than the 2 of you. Beautiful
Aw.
people. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Liberty.
God, thank you guys so much. That was such a sweet intro. There's nobody I'd rather be looking at than you two, to be honest. But
It's true though, Lib. There's nobody like you. You're like
Yeah.
the ultimate fashionista of our family. You are creative, almost the baby of the family, the 5th child. You have such a different perspective on everything than we do, but we're also like so in sync with how we see the world. So
mhm.
it's so fun to have you on today.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
I feel like I'm not an emotional person at all. And I think Liberty is like one of one person in the world that if I think long enough about, I could probably start crying about how much I love you. And we're not
That's how I
supposed to
feel
start
about
this out
both of
on a
you.
sappy note, but seriously. And we were just chatting about the fact that you've lived with both of us. You've lived in
Right.
Dallas. You now currently
Right.
live in San Diego. What the actual heck was it like being roommates with Bretley and I?
How did you survive,
Yeah.
Liberty? Tell us.
No, I've
All the
had the
secrets.
absolute luxury, and I tell people honestly all the time that after living with sisters, I just don't think I can live. I've never lived
Yeah.
with anyone other than you two ever, other than obviously as a child, but as an adult, I've never lived with anyone but you two, and I feel like I can't not live with like if it's not you two, I'm not interested, and it's been hard for me to navigate that conversation because
Lost a few friendships because
yeah,
of it,
because
but it's okay.
honestly, like I just think living with sisters is so lovely, especially like our dynamic, you know. But yeah, I lived in Dallas with Bretley. What was it like
Well,
2019?
Was
and
that during
Liberty,
COVID?
yeah, you might remember that we went through COVID together, which is
She
a
said
pretty
you
big
might
deal.
remember.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we lived together in Addison for about a year and a half, and Liberty was out here doing
I'm already
music
crying.
school. I mean, for the time that the city was open, right? And you're out here practicing music and singing and performing arts, and we
Right.
shacked up together, and it was
No,
awesome.
it was honestly a crazy time. It was a crazy, crazy time. Like just our apartment there, you know, the nights that we spent. Do you remember like the gunshots that like went off that one night or honestly regularly like in the area? I
Yeah.
think they were in the complex, but we used to like finally go to bed and we would text each other like, "Did you hear that?" And it would
Yeah.
just be like, "Yes." Like
I
Were you
love
guys
know.
living
you.
in a sketchy area? Why?
I don't
It wasn't, you know what? It got a lot sketchier during COVID. It wasn't
yeah,
really that bad.
it went
Yeah.
downhill.
we had been there for like a year and had no problems, and then COVID came. But Liberty was like the best
Suddenly
roommate.
people were like shooting guns off in the complex. Like it was just, but honestly, Bradley was like my safe haven. I would text her, obviously, as anxiety ridden as I am. I would text her at 11 p.m. and be like, "Did you hear that?" And she'd be like, "Everything's okay. Love you. I'm just in the
Oh,
other room." And I would just go to sleep to the sound of like God
that's
knows what going on
insane.
outside.
Oh
Well,
my
I'll
It
god.
never
wasn't as bad
forget.
as I'm making it sound, but
Well, I'll never forget when we were first getting the announcements of like COVID, lockdown happening. Liberty will always give me a hard time about this because as soon as they announced that you're not supposed to leave your house, I like freaked out because I can't be at home and I can't sit still. And so I was immediately like, no, I'm going to run errands. I don't care. And I
Yeah.
was like the grocery store every few hours because it was the only place that was open.
literally,
I
she
just
would
Every
literally
few
just go to like
hours?
CVS, bro. She would just be, you're working from home. Why do you have, and she would just be like, just running a few errands. And I would tell her, you're not welcome in my room. I was so anxious that because I'm a hypochondriac, obviously.
So
So
you quarantine yourself in your
I was
bedroom.
like, Brettley, I just am so overwhelmed. But honestly,
Well, we
after a few
were
weeks, Dallas
opposites.
reopened. Yeah.
Because you were a hypochondriac, scared of every
Yeah.
germ, and I had, like, no fear of COVID. And so I would,
She
like,
was
go out
pushing
and
back.
about
Yeah.
shopping and then, like, come in to give you a hug, and you'd be like, "Get away from me, I'm gonna die." But
That
we worked
really
through it.
adds up,
No,
honestly.
it was so accurate, honestly. We continued our life and it was so fun living together. We were always on our fitness journey. We would go to classes. She would work all day. I would be at
Oh,
music class and then we'd meet for a hit class or yoga. And we just had such a great time. We'd be eating ground turkey together for dinner and putting Mio in our water and watching our shows. And it was just, we
wait,
were
the
just so
Mio
cute.
era. I
Yeah,
forgot about
like
Yeah,
no
Mio.
soda, nothing else, just Mio in the water. And like we had
That's
such a
so
great
cute.
time, honestly. We had so many, and honestly, just going through COVID together is just a crazy experience. Nobody knew what
Bonding.
was going on, and you were like the
Yeah.
only sense of safety. And I'm sure to you, you were fine, but for me, you were my like safety.
I was your rock, which says
I,
a lot about the situation if
yeah.
that was the as
I
good as
was
you
an
had.
emotional roller coaster for like 2 months. You can't even I'm sure you 2 can imagine, yeah, the stress that I was under, but
Anyways, you were the fifth out of six kids. We've talked a lot about, well, not a lot, but we've talked about growing up in Bakersfield and some of the horror stories and also the great times that we had. What
right.
was it like being the fifth out of six kids and growing up on a farm, scraping manure off the lawn in the backyard while Bradley
Oh,
was off riding
And
horses?
Lib, you're how many years younger than me? Like 6 or
about to
6-ish?
be 24.
So we're 8 years apart.
Yeah.
So growing up in Bakersfield, there was a pretty big gap. So
Yeah.
I remember you really as a baby for the most part. You know, by the time you were an adult or in high school, I was already out of the house. So
Bradley
there's
said
a
she didn't remember me at all as a child, so if that makes you feel any better.
don't take offense to this.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
But no, for real, like, there's a lot about your childhood that I don't really remember, or I'm not aware of because I was just, like, I was in a
Yeah.
different stage of life. So,
Yeah.
you know, what was it like for you growing up in Bakersfield with 5 siblings and kinda being at the youngest stage and watching us go about our lives where you were trying to kind of figure out yours and navigate yours?
Brettley, I just want to give you grace because I feel like you're so right. I don't honestly have as many memories as I wish that I did as a kid. I remember you being older, and you were out at the farm a lot, at Mary's farm down the street, cleaning the stalls and taking out the horse poop. And I remember every once in a while I'd bike over and bring you like water, you and Sarah, a water glass, and I have like just memories of you being, bigger and on to better, which I like am so grateful that you were able to like be, find your own individual path at that time. But
Yeah.
it was great, honestly. I look back, I don't know, like obviously everyone has their own perspective on it, but honestly, I think I'm a very nostalgic person, and I do miss our time in Bakersfield. Like, I miss our childhood so much,
Mhm.
and mostly because I just miss being all together, all of us siblings every day,
Mhm.
and it was just so fun. Like, I grew up just feeling like I had 5 built-in best friends, and it was just fun to be waking up together and going through every day together, and that's something that honestly I think about almost every day, how much I miss being a kid with you guys, which I know maybe that just speaks to my, like, sensitivity and nostalgia as a person, but I really miss those years, honestly. And I really had a great childhood. I felt so free, and I felt like we were in such a great environment, and we got to just be creative and explore and not be hit yet with any of the pressures of
Yeah.
anything outside of just being a kid and being adventurous and having fun, and I honestly do miss those years so much. It was such a great childhood. I think that's the biggest thing I'm grateful for in my entire life is my siblings and the family that I have, and I'm looking forward to how things will unfold as adults, but I do miss, like, I just loved our childhood. It could not be more perfect. The ups and the downs, as much as it was negative at times, like, it was hard, but I
Mhm.
feel like it was just the best childhood I could have asked for, honestly.
I think that's a really good point. I feel like our parents did really protect us, and
Mhm.
maybe we were overly sheltered at certain points, but we were just allowed to be kids, and
Mhm.
we just played
Yes.
in the mud and, like,
Right.
played with the tumbleweeds and
Right,
kept ourselves entertained for
right.
hours and hours and hours. I just remember mom every day there was outside time, and she would just open the
Mhm.
door and go to the backyard, and we weren't allowed in for, like, X number of hours, and it would be until
Right.
she felt ready to
She
have
rang the
us back in
bell.
the house.
She
She
would
would
ring the
ring
bell.
the bell,
Yeah,
and it was typically mealtime, yeah,
like
that
dinner.
we would be allowed back in, but we never knew if that was 4 hours from now, 6 hours, 3. That's a good point, though, that we
Yeah,
were like, now I look at kids and I'm like, "Oh, like, they just don't have a care in the world." But
yeah.
also they've got an iPad at home waiting
Right,
for them and a cell
right,
phone, and their parents
right.
aren't at their beck and call, and we really did not have that.
Right. Like,
It
we were
was
truly so disconnected, and I think that
yeah,
is why we all found ourselves so much as people. Like, I think that
yeah,
is why everybody is so driven, and they're so themselves, and they're so connected to who they are. I truly think it is because we developed as people naturally as children. We
Mm.
didn't have
Mhm.
any expectations. I didn't even know what, like, I didn't know at all what the world may have expected of me. I just was we were just ourselves. Like, we were
yeah,
just exploring. We all formed our own personalities based on just what we were experiencing day to day, and it was
Mhm.
so genuine and authentic. It wasn't like we were watching TikTok being like, this is,
right.
who we should be, or this is what our opinion should be. We were just literally being informed by, like, nature and family and just
Mhm.
animals. It was very organic, and I think that's why everyone has such a strong sense of self. That, like, honestly, in
Yeah,
our whole family, I think that is a huge factor.
I
yeah.
agree. Lib, who were you closest with growing up?
Honestly, like,
Be careful how you no, I'm just kidding, I'm just
no,
kidding.
honestly, I feel like it was tough for me because I was such a sensitive kid, which I will take, I'll take that. I was probably the most sensitive kid out of the family. I feel like Delaney and Lily, like, just, like, linked up. I thought it was, like, okay, so it was Taylor Bretley, I thought it was Delaney and Sully, but then I was like, "Okay, great, I'm gonna have Lily," right? I remember being a little girl and being like, "Lily's mine," 'cause, like, you have Sullivan, and then it was, like, Delaney, Lily, and I was like, like, I was complete I remember really being bullied, honestly, but I don't it was in all love, but I remember really going through a ringer. Between Lily, Delaney, and Sullivan, I did feel like I would get bullied a lot because I would cry and I was so sensitive. So
Yeah,
they did underwater policemen on me a lot, which
yeah,
is like this water game where they were the policemen, all three of
yeah.
them against me swimming, and, like, God knows what happened there, and there was just a lot of so honestly, it's hard for me to say. I think I was
Yeah.
closest with Abby, the girl that we babysat, honestly, because
Yeah.
it was hard for me to form, like,
Yeah.
an alliance. I thought everybody had an
Yeah.
alliance. But I
Yeah.
will say, like, as time went on, and that was, like, early childhood, and as time went on, me and Lily probably became closest just because we were the closest in age,
Yeah.
and as the parents divorced, like, me and Lily kinda went through that together, but I remember being little and just feeling like I'm so emotional, like, I'm just
Yeah.
crying all the time, and everyone's like, like, and I was like, "Oh my
Yeah, Lily is the baby of the family, and
god."
I feel like Liberty, you've always had, like, to your point, you've always been, like, so in touch with your feelings, which is one of the coolest things about you,
Mhm.
is that's something that the rest of us, I feel like, have had to really work on, but you have, like, had that naturally, and we say it in jest, but, like, it's really a really beautiful strength because it's led you to, like,
Yeah, it is.
music and creativity and all these skills that the rest of us, like, don't come as naturally
Oh,
to us, so
yeah.
but I see how as a kid that could have been a little bit alienating.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, everyone was, like, so nice. It's just, like, that is, like, fundamental. Like, I think everyone bullied everyone, that we didn't have anyone else. We'd had no like, we were everything to each other, so that was just the
Mhm,
vibe at that point. We
mhm.
were all picking, and I was picking on, like, the littler kids, like, the whoever we were, like, babysitting that day, I was picking on them, so to
Well,
be fair,
I
it's just
also
the
have
vibe.
to say that I feel like you stood up for yourself too, though. When we would get in
Really?
fights,
Oh.
well, no, I agree with you. I bullied you to no end. Absolutely. Me and Sullivan especially did. But I remember specifically when you and I would get in fights, I don't know what it was, but you learned this little trick, this sneaky little trick from like such a young age. And you were smaller than me or shorter than me still and younger than me. But we would be fighting and shoving, and
Oh,
you would stick your
yeah.
leg out and hook me, my feet from the back. And I
Yeah.
don't even know how you did it. Your sneaky little legs would reach out and you would
Nope.
swipe me from the back of the knee or the back of the
I
ankle
think I would
and kick
grab
my
your
feet
leg
out.
because I remember Sullivan. I don't know if the pod no, the pod knows Sully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sully's our older brother. We have 2, but he's one of our older brothers, and he would referee me and Delaney, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "No, I got this." He would be like, "Okay, 1, 2, 3," and we
Yeah.
would go. And I honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I, like, won most of the
Oh, no,
fights
you
because
did. You
I
did.
don't know that I would leg swipe you. What I would do, because I have, like, a distinct memory of this, and I took it too far one day and you got hurt. But
I think I snapped
I
my
would
tailbone.
grab your leg. I would go down and grab and rip it out from underneath you, so you would just, like, fall onto the wood,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I was like, I
And it
mean,
would
I have
knock the wind out of me.
yeah,
So
and
not
you would
only was
cry
I
so
mad, I couldn't breathe. So
yeah,
then I was even more angry because I was like,
yeah,
I can't even respond because I'm out of breath. I
yeah,
literally couldn't breathe. It knocked the air out of my lungs. And then I would
yeah,
just go, ugh, I just got so
yeah.
mad.
But I gained a lot of physical strength because between that and just, like, being, in we would roughhouse, and
Yeah.
we were just kids. So I feel like that is, like, one of the reasons that, we went to kickboxing a couple years back, and, like, why was I so good at kickboxing? Like, probably because of, like, our childhood fights.
Yeah, there was no
Like,
room for
you gain
weakness.
strength. Literally
No.
physical strength was gained during those years that I feel like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can stand up for myself. I've never had to, and I pray to God I never will, but I feel like I could, like, hold my
Liberty, what was growing up, did you have any perceptions, like, in retrospect of Delaney and I that maybe are, like, true today in our adult life, but watching us as little kids with our different personalities kinda grow up and do our thing, was there anything that you remember, like, thinking about us or assuming that we were like that maybe is, like, still true today, or maybe it's not true, but just something how we were different in that time as being our younger sister?
honestly, Brett, for you, like, the biggest thing that pops up for me is, like, I do just remember you being out of all 6 of us the most, like, wanting to spread her wings and fly. Like, Brettley
Yes.
wanted to go, she was good, she was independent,
Yeah.
and like, as soon as I don't know if it was the Volvo, like, as soon as you got the Volvo, but you didn't see her, and it wasn't anything bad, it was just, like,
She
she was
never
at
looked back.
practice, or she was, like, she was just
Yeah,
like, "I want to go and be an adult." She was just very independent, and it was
Yeah.
nothing negative. I'm sure it was the most wholesome things that she was doing, but she just had a free spirit about her, and as soon as she got the
Yeah.
chance, she's the only person in the family that was going out of state for college and never looking back, and I'm now living across the country, and all the rest of the family is very, like, close together,
Yeah.
and I noticed that at a young age, like, as soon as you got your independence, even with the horses, you would just ride off into the sunset, and, like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like,
Yeah.
Brettley is the coolest, and she loves me so much, but Brettley's on her own
Yeah.
path, and she's going for
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
she just has a spirit inside of her that's never gonna die until she, like, just keeps
Well,
going,
thank
you
you.
know?
I do remember growing up, like, when I wanted to get out of the house so bad and just having this feeling of, like, I don't care if I'm, like, going to practice or just running errands or, like, whatever I'm doing, I just knew I wanted to go, go, go.
Right.
Yeah.
And from a little kid, I remember thinking when I get the wheels or if I get the car or whatever,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be on the move. And so that's
Right.
funny that you observed that. What about Delaney? I know you guys are closer in age.
I'm trying to, like, think, honestly, because I feel like me and Delaney are almost, like, more in a sense, I feel like we are similar in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways. We
I
are
think so
probably
too.
more than me and Bradley, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't know about the 2 of you, but I feel like me and Delaney, we did grow up, like, more closely knit.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to, like, pinpoint something that I noticed. I think that she's very loyal and passionate, and she was as a kid too. I remember as our family would go through things, like, Delaney would stand on business, and she
Mm.
would just express her direct opinion, and
yeah,
that's something I've always really admired because I'm more of a people pleaser, and it's hard for me to, like, pick a side, and I always admired that Delaney, she is not fake at all. She will tell you
Aw,
exactly like it is, and if there's an
thank you.
issue, she will bring it up, and even as a young girl, like, obviously, as, like, as we went through things as a kid, I remember looking at Delaney and being like, I mean, she's so real. She'll just express exactly how she's feeling even as a 13-year-old girl.
yeah.
If she's pissed, or,
Yeah.
like, if
Not
you
gonna
did
hide
something
it.
disrespectful, like,
You're
you
gonna
better
hear
own up
about
to
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, honestly, it's not okay. And I was like, I appreciated that because I was more of just like, I'll take the blows and then I'll be like, I don't know how to say anything, or I'm just gonna be like whatever about it. And Delaney is still like that to this day. She's very genuine and very, like,
outspoken. Yeah,
outspoken and passionate about what she believes in. She's very loyal. Obviously, like, yeah, as are you, but I just remember that as a kid of
for
admiring
sure.
Delaney's, like, lack of, like, there was no willingness to be ingenuine, you know? She was
Hmm.
just very honest, and I would, like, look to her to kind of voice things that maybe I was feeling as a kid, but I was too timid to voice because we were going through similar things close in age, and I
Right.
appreciated her willingness to say, "This is not okay," or, you guys need to do this better, and we're not gonna tolerate this. And we're, like, 13 years old,
Yeah.
and we're such a
Thank
stud for
you,
that,
Liv.
honestly.
Aw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's really nice. I was expecting you to roast us, and
Yes.
those are great compliments to both
Sorry,
of us.
this is
No, I'm
showing my
teasing.
personality, though, like, I'm not a roaster.
You're
I'm such a
so
lover.
cute and
You
sweet. No,
are.
it's so
Yeah.
true. And
I'm
I
not a
think
roaster.
yeah, I think since Sullivan is exactly 4 years older than me, like, he was starting college when I was starting high school, like, we never shared a school experience or we played
Mhm.
tennis together, so we had that in common, but as far as age gaps, we were just enough apart that he was gone by the time I felt like I was becoming an adult or a teenager, and so my high school and my quote unquote adult life or teenage life was just me, you, and Lily, just the
Mhm.
3 of us,
Younger three girls.
just
Yeah.
the younger 3. And so I felt like I kinda had to just step up and try and be the adult or the spokesperson because there
Right.
wasn't anybody else above me. Even though
Yeah.
there was 3 siblings, they were gone doing their own thing. So it forced me to grow up really fast. But you talked about obviously living through COVID with Brettley, which is insane, and your guys' Texas legacy was iconic, and I remember being on FaceTime and hearing all the crazy stories. Then you moved to San Diego. Now you've
Yeah.
been in San Diego for how many years now? Trying to think.
I moved here, I
Like
think
6?
5 or
5
6
or
years
6?
ago,
Okay.
yeah, which is crazy because one day Delaney
Insane.
literally called me and was like, "My roommate is moving out in 2 weeks. Would you wanna move in?" Same situation that just happened
Bro,
with our
I'm on a
littlest
roll.
sister.
I just
She's
did
on a
that with
roll.
Lily.
Bradley, just so you know, I'm gonna call you in a couple months and be like, "Something popped up, like, do you wanna come?"
I
I
have a spare
know.
Get here,
bedroom.
girl. Get here.
I'm the only sister Delaney hasn't called with 2 weeks notice and said, "Will you
It's
move in with
because 'cause you're
me?"
the most stable.
'Cause
We
she
Yeah,
know
knows
that
I
you're
would
not gonna
say,
move.
"Go to hell."
yeah, you have a whole established life
Yeah.
and a family there. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah, come on. But that's a compliment to you because we know that you have
yeah,
roots, you know? But at the
yeah,
time, Delaney, yeah, called me, and I was not sure where I was gonna go. I knew it at that point I was gonna go to college, so I just was like, "I'll go to junior college wherever." I didn't wanna go straight to university, so yeah, she called me 2 weeks later, I moved, and suddenly I'm like, "This is the best." I just trusted my gut on it, and
yeah.
yeah, it's been 6 years. I went to SDSU, graduated there, San Diego State, and I graduated there, like, almost a year ago now, and yeah,
I'm
honestly, it was a great choice.
I'm genuinely curious and be dead honest. Do you see yourself in San Diego long term? Would you live somewhere else?
I know
What's
the answer to this.
your vision for your life?
I honestly, to be so honest, I feel like and this kind of goes back to like my nostalgia as a kid, but I don't necessarily see myself here long term. I know that's a
Yeah.
crazy take, and I feel almost guilty saying that because it's such like I love San Diego and everybody loves San Diego. It's the best, one of the best cities in the country, like like objectively, but I just feel like I think even though it's like amazing. I still feel like it's a huge city, and I
Mhm.
don't know that I feel the most at home in a big city. I miss like I just miss a smaller town vibe. So there's a possibility that I could settle down outside of San Diego, but then there's
Right.
also a possibility that I'm not in California at all. And I think I just want like land. I want to be able to, like, eventually when have a family, I want to be able to, you know, farm and just feel like it's a slower pace of life. Like, I don't think that San
Yeah.
Diego long term is for me necessarily, but for the short term, in the next 3 to 5 years, I could definitely see myself staying, and
Yeah.
starting a career here. But I think long term, my roots will be elsewhere, honestly.
Well, I love that about you, Liberty, because it's true. Kind of like going back to our roots. We grew up in a small town. We grew up around almond orchards and carrot farms and horses. And that's a part of us that we all carry with us. I find myself like longing for the same thing. And
Yeah.
I feel like you will find your perfect like city in the country. And I love that you are not married to California, that you have like that free spirit of like, wherever my life takes me, it will, be for the best. And
Yeah,
so,
totally.
but San Diego's a great stepping stone, and there's so much going on there, kind of not unlike Dallas. It's growing. There's so many businesses, so many great restaurants. The scene is awesome. Very different from Dallas, but awesome. And so we want to kind of pivot a little bit into the San Diego scene that Delaney is super involved in, and like the restaurants and the retail. And I think that Liberty, one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the podcast, not only are you just this incredible person with your incredible story, but you also have a really interesting perspective that we've never really had on the podcast before, which is you're Gen Z, right? So you grew up on your phone, you grew up online, shopping online. You're very in touch with where brands are going, what brands are cool, which ones are cringe. And I just feel like as a Gen Z, especially someone who is as fashionable and in touch with that as
Yeah.
you, that you really do have a perspective that every landlord, every tenant, a lot of our listeners maybe would never really have the opportunity to hear from.
Mhm.
And so we want to take a minute to kind of talk about some brands and some places that you go or maybe you don't go in San Diego and like
Yeah.
why that is. And from your perspective as 20, you said 26, 24?
Uh, 23. I'm
Sorry,
almost 24. It's
24.
okay. Honestly, there's so many. I'm the same
So
vibe
many
with everyone.
siblings. It's
Yeah.
hard to remember. So I guess let's just kick it off by like, what are some of your favorite places and San Diego to go. And money's
Like
no
for
object.
retail or like
Yes, so think like boutique fitness, retail, shopping. Where do you go with your girlfriends
just
on, a Saturday afternoon before you go to get drinks and dinner?
yeah.
What are your favorite places?
One of my favorite in San Diego, and I will always recommend it, is Salt Vault for hot heated Pilates. I know both of you have been.
Yeah.
Um, Salt Vault is
We
just
love salt
like
vault.
the coolest. It's so like it's that Pilates studio,
Okay,
honestly, in
Yeah.
so
San Diego.
why is it so cool? Tell us.
Just like the aesthetic of the inside, it's so clean and so trendy. All the workout equipment is matte black and the
Mhm.
room is dark and LED lit. It's always playing, the best pop and the best remixes that honestly I will find myself shazamming in class. I'm like drenched in sweat, pouring down onto my mat, and I'm trying to grab my phone to Shazam a song because they always have the best music. Um, and all the girls in there are cute, the instructors are
Yeah.
cute. It just makes you feel amazing. Even if
Yeah.
my whole day's been bad and I go there, I'm feeling good after that. I feel like, a bad bee. I feel great after that class. So love Salt Vault, and I always am recommending that for my favorite workout, honestly, in San Diego is honestly
Okay,
Salt
That
Vault.
that's a
says a
big
lot
yeah.
because you and I have been to a lot together
I've
and
been
you've been here
to,
for many years. I know you've
yeah,
tried a
almost
lot.
probably, I've been to so many. I feel like I've overused ClassPass. I've been to
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and that's my favorite. For retail, honestly, I do like stray. I stay kind of away from Fashion Valley unless it's an absolute
Okay.
necessity. But I do like UTC.
What's
I
UTC for people who live in
La
Texas?
Jolla. It's La Jolla's like outdoor mall.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's just a little bit cleaner, more. It just feels newer. I feel like Fashion Valley is they don't have as many name brands as UTC. UTC
Mhm.
has the best brands and everything that Fashion Valley doesn't, UTC has.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
And
just a
Fashion
beautiful
Valley is
mall.
now trying to kind of evolve into that. But yeah, UTC
Yeah,
has every
which would be
designer
great.
brand,
Yeah.
every, mainstream brand. It's like out of reach, but it's still approachable, which I think is why people are so obsessed with it, right? Because you go and you're
Right.
like, I'm in Beverly Hills. This is the
Right. It
coolest
just
thing.
feels rich
It
and
feels
nice.
rich and
Yeah.
prestigious, yeah, but then they still have the Zaras and the
Mm.
Uniqlo and the
Yeah,
approachable brands, so
totally.
I think
Like
that's
you
a
can
yeah.
actually shop there,
Mhm.
but you can also window shop and it's clean and it
Mhm.
just feels elevated. Whereas Fashion Valley doesn't feel as elevated to me. It's like I'm like running in to get something from one store and then I'm like rushing back
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Traffic and parking,
Mhm.
everything's kind of, needs an upgrade. But um
Calling out the Simon Simon
sorry,
Mall.
honestly, don't
It's
post that
okay,
if you
they're
guys are working on it.
redeveloping it. They're
Okay.
redeveloping it,
Yeah,
so
sorry. That's the one fear I have of this. I don't want to like talk on a brand
No,
that
it's good,
doesn't
you
really
gotta be
like.
honest. We
Yeah,
like the
this is
real
not
this
this
is
is we're
unfiltered
supposed to
honesty.
be like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
giving real
Um
opinions. Where would you go for
Hmm.
dinner and drinks?
Ooh.
and why?
Honestly, I just love the Consortium Holdings group. I
Mm.
don't know. They
Mhm.
have all the best spots in San Diego. Not all of the best spots, but they have a hold on quite a
Yeah.
few staples in San Diego. Morning Glory, Born and Raised, Fortunate Son, um, the list goes on. Lafayette, I live across the street from there. It's just this incredible restaurant group that has such creative ideas. And I'm just in that area. I know North County has different like great competitors, but in the area that I'm in, Consortium Holdings is just blowing up. Like they just are
Yeah.
constantly opening new, innovative, very just I think what is kind of cohesive between all the groups is that when you walk in the door, it's just a complete experience from the entrance
Mhm.
of the front door to the bathroom. Everything is cohesive. There's a full-on experience that they're selling that's not just dinner. It's not just
Yeah.
drinks. That's like the least of what they're selling. Like their food and
Right.
drinks are good, but people aren't going for their food and drinks. Like their food and drinks are just a compliment to the fact that you walk in and you're literally buying an entire experience. And my friend works at the company, and she told me that the guy that it creates all the spots, one of his one of the things that he specializes in, which is so interesting to me, is actually the design of the restrooms. Because he said when
Mm,
people are dining, one of the biggest things that breaks the experience for them is going into the restroom. Because you're in this great ambiance, you're hearing the music, you're drinking, you're feeling alive, like you're connecting, and then you have to go to the bathroom and you run in, and it's like, hospital light, and it's usually like a gross bathroom, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, suddenly I'm back in reality and I'm no longer in this alternate universe with my friends feeling like, all these great new
Yeah.
feelings. And so what he works on, one of the things that he prioritizes in all of his restaurants and bars is the restrooms being even more immaculate than the restaurant. So when you go into any of these restaurants, it's the vibe that you're experiencing on the up and up at the bar or at the table is like amplified in
Yeah.
in the restroom. It is insane the amount of detail and effort he puts into these bathrooms, the music, the
Yeah.
lighting. There's just every single one is different from another. But I found that so cool because I do experience that when I'm out, like you're having
Mhm.
a great night and then you walk into the restroom and you look at yourself in like hospital lighting
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I'm sober again, and I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
having fun anymore and like I should get home, like what time is it?" But in
Yeah.
these restrooms, it's just like it makes you even more entranced into the experience. So I love like honestly, I think those are like my favorite it spots just in this side of
Mhm.
San Diego. I'm not as familiar with North County, honestly, but
I
That's a
think that's a great
great
review.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I talked about consortium holdings early on in one of our earlier episodes, and they are honestly iconic. They do an incredible job. Nobody really
Mhm.
does it like them. And your point about the restrooms is so true. I'm sitting here listening, going, "Yep, I've walked in and seen the fluorescent lights in the bathroom and been like, ugh, I
like
need to
yeah,
get
you're like
home. This
looking at
is."
your pores and you're like, ugh, like, did I look like this the whole time? It's just too much. You don't
Yeah.
need that energy in the restroom.
But to feel like it's a continuation of the experience that you're getting at the table, in the restaurant, in the bar is so intentional, and you know that took thought and effort, and he had to be
Exactly.
very intentional about coming up with that, that wasn't a happy
Right.
accident. So,
No,
that's a
totally,
great
which I thought
point.
was so cool.
I do have to pivot a little bit though into retail. We're all very active. We love to work out. And we've had this debate, I feel like a million times because there's so many great athletic brands out there, but I do want to hear from a Gen Zer. So Viore versus Aloe versus Lululemon. So we all wear all of these. Describe to us which girl is wearing which and like
Ooh.
how do these differentiate when you see
Okay.
someone in Viore versus Aloe versus Lulu?
This is such
Okay,
a really good question.
this is such a good question. I feel like I've had this conversation with my friends like recently too. I would say that this is obviously so subjective, so take it with a grain of salt in case we have any partnerships coming up. But I will say that for me personally, I feel like Lulu is the highest quality for working out. I feel like
Mm,
Lulu, I go back to for all of my runs, all of my hot yogas, my salt vaults, pivoting back. I really feel like I go to their like yogas and their sports bras for just maximum support, and I feel really good in those.
mhm,
And from what I feel like the general consensus is that aloe is the cutest, I would say. I think it's
mhm,
an aesthetic brand, but
mhm.
not for working out. It's not. it's not practical when you're actually in a hot yoga class, and I feel like aloe's streetwear that you wear
Mm-hmm.
not working out, but you wanna look athletic and cute and hot, honestly.
Yeah.
That's, like, my
Mm-hmm.
genuine take, and I feel like
Mm.
everyone I've talked to has been like, "Yeah, aloe is not the highest quality, honestly, but it is just way cuter than Lulu and Vuori, honestly. I think it is cuter, honestly."
Yeah.
But I don't think their quality is as high as Vuori or Lulu, personally. And then I feel like Vuori, just for me, I feel like has the highest quality of, like, comfort. I would get, like, sweatpants from Vuori
Yeah.
out
Mm-hmm.
of any of the brands. Like, I would wanna be, like, wearing loungewear from Vuori. Like, their
Mm.
fabric and their material is unmatched, honestly. But I don't know that I've ever worked out in any I've never worked out in Vuori or worn it for cuteness factor, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just personal. I mean, that's what my friends have said. I could be wrong, but we're not wearing Vuori to look cute really or to
Yeah.
work out. But I think that Lulu for working out, Aloe for cuteness, Vuori for comfort. That's my take.
Like that's so accurate. I feel
That's
the same
so
way.
good. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my take at
You
least.
hit the
Like,
nail on the head. That was the
thank
perfect way to
you.
describe
They're
it.
all great brands.
So tell us a little bit, Lib, just in a quick little nutshell, where you are at in life right now and like what I know you said you graduated.
Yes.
Give us a quick little lowdown of what the next few
Yeah.
years looks like for you.
Well, yeah, so I graduated SDSU and I studied business marketing. So
Mhm.
business was my major, and I guess I emphasized in marketing. And I work at the San Diego Yacht Club right now in Point Loma, San Diego, and I'm a dining room server there. But um, my passion definitely lies in all things creative. As since I was a little
Mhm.
girl, that has just been what feels like the meaning to my life is creativity on any form. I love poetry, painting. I love just connecting with other people and creating meaningful expression of art or of just any form. Honestly, I'm so open to all forms of art. I just love art in general. And marketing was just something that, yeah, I wanted to be able to create. I wanted a good foundational, degree that I got a lot of knowledge about finance and supply chain and operations management and things that I could really use moving forward that weren't just, um, I guess, just elusive. So for me, that's why I studied business and then minored in marketing. But right now, I'm just basically just networking, and I'm working for Brick and Brand. I'm helping them with their social media and marketing, and it's super fun for me. Obviously, there's no two people that I am more I don't believe in two people more than I believe in Delaney and Bradley, and I think that it's objective. I know that I am a little bit biased, but honestly, I feel like anyone that gets to know Brick and Brand and just these two as people, it's hard not to be in love with them, honestly. I just believe in only doing things that feel authentic and that feel genuine, and that's why I love working with Brick and Brand because it is so authentic and genuine, something that I believe in and I know you guys believe in. And so, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just networking. I'm working on my LinkedIn. I'm working on just going to different networking events and trying to figure out just meeting more people and just learning more about the possibilities that are out there because I know that I will pour my heart and soul into whatever I end up with, but it's up to me, to network and meet people and learn.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I'm at, honestly.
Well, I just want to say, Lib, you are so incredibly talented. We've always said in our family that you were the most talented one, and I will go to my
Literally.
grave. No, I'm
Literally.
not kidding. I will go to my grave believing you are the most talented of us six. So
Yeah.
whatever you decide to do, you will be so successful. And taking that time in your early 20s to kind of figure out what is the right fit and not just jumping into something, I think is so wise. And you said it, but I'll want to double click on the fact that Liberty does handle all of the social media, all the marketing for Brick and Brand. We could not be, oh my gosh, we would not be anywhere near where we're at without
No.
her. And we get so much feedback from listeners, from clients saying, who does your social media? I was at ICSC last week. We had an episode drop about the convention, and I had multiple people approach me at the conference saying, who does your social media? Who does your
Yep.
marketing? We want to hire her. And I even texted Liberty from the show floor about it. So I'm not making this up, and connected her on email to a few people, but that is all her. She's just,
Yeah.
that's who she is. She is so passionate, so good at what she does. So yes, thank you for being our chief marketing officer and part of the Brick and Brand team. We cannot do it without you.
No, we
My
absolutely could
God,
not.
thank you guys. It's such an honor. And honestly, like I said, there's no in my world. And honestly, I feel it's objective, you know. There's no two better people than Delaney and Bretley. You guys are just doing such an incredible thing with Brick and Brand. I love being a part of it in any capacity. And it's just going to be continuing to grow.
Thank you, Lib.
Future
We
is bright.
we can't let you off the hook though without some fast roasting type questions for the
Okay.
girls. So
Okay.
we're gonna read you out some questions, and you tell us, who this applies to more, Delaney or Bretley.
Okay.
And it's just like the first thought that comes to your head.
Dead honest. First
Yeah,
thought.
you have to be honest. Yeah.
Of course.
And we can't get our feelings hurt no matter. We can cry after the episode. But
Yeah,
I'm
just
sorry.
we
Yeah.
can talk. Call me after.
Delaney, you want to kick off the first one?
Sure, I'd love to. Okay, what annoys you the most about having most of your family in real estate? I feel like there's probably a million things that annoy you
It's
about
just
this.
like honestly, the biggest annoyance is that every single holiday, everyone's working, honestly. Just to be so
Oh.
transparent, nobody's relaxed. And
That's so accurate.
I will wake up at 8 a.m.
So
and everyone's like worked out on their emails, have read 2 books, and they're like, hey. And I'm like, oh my God, like where are the pancakes and mimosas? And
It's
everybody's
Christmas
walked
Day.
in. Yeah, it will be Christmas Day. And I remember last Christmas, you, Broutley, and like Sullivan having this conversation of we're holding back, we're restraining. And it was like 10 a.m. and you guys were like, oh, like it's just so hard. Like, did
Yeah.
Santa come?
I'm
Are
sorry,
there
Liberty.
presents? Like, does anybody want to take a
No,
shot?
that's a
Like, I don't
great
know.
one.
So true,
That
though.
is
It's so
so
true.
accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so annoying. I'd be so annoyed if I was
I'm not
you.
annoyed. It's just tough. Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
Because I like
We need to work on
I'm a
that,
big
Delaney.
I just like to relax. I'd like to enjoy.
It
I'm
gives
very
everyone
like,
else around you
As you should.
anxiety that they're
Yeah.
not. It's just
yeah,
like,
you just
no,
immediately are like, wow, I'm not locked
I'm
in.
not doing
Like, it's
enough.
Christmas Day and I feel just not good
I should
enough.
be
loser.
responding to emails.
But yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like, is it okay to rest today? Because nobody else is, but I don't know. It's confusing.
But I don't know. It's hard to say.
I still haven't figured it out. I'll let
You're
you know.
still wrestling with that one. Yeah.
This is a deep wound.
Okay, Lib, which one of us cares more about what people think?
This is a good
Delaney
one.
or
This is a
Bretley?
really
And I don't
good
know the
one.
answer. This is just your
My
perspective.
God, this is so
This is
hard. Like,
no,
that is
this is a
so
good one.
general.
I feel like
I don't
it's
know that I
really-
honestly, I don't know that I have it. I'm gonna say Delaney because I feel like
Yeah.
Bretley just genuinely
I think
doesn't
it's
like.
me.
I feel like you are just so like you could hear something and if it doesn't resonate, it's like I'm not thinking of it again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Delaney's like over here to like if anybody, it's me, bro. Honestly.
Yeah. That's a tough one because neither of us care that much, I think.
Yeah, I
We
don't
both
think
have
either of
different
you really
approaches.
care, but I just feel like based on your whole personality, Bretley is very like you know what you want, and you're like. But I feel like me and Delaney are more. I'm me the most, honestly. I'm the most. I for sure am the worst at that. So I'll just.
But I
take
am
that
the
as
one
mine.
calling you going, like, does this Instagram bundle look good together?
Yeah, like
Am I
Bretley's just
gonna-
like
yeah.
I don't
And
hear
Bretley's like,
until it's on the
I
ground.
never have
Yeah,
given a shit in my life,
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah.
And she kills it, but she's just not worried about it at all.
Yeah, we're all striving to be you, Bretley. Let's be honest.
I don't know that that's a good thing.
It's the
but I'll
carefree,
take it.
effortless.
No, that's good.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
try
that's
for
good.
this. Yeah.
Never been described as carefree, but okay.
In that
Okay.
way.
Number 3, which one of us is scarier when we're in a bad mood?
Delaney.
I was Delaney for sure.
Yeah, honestly, Delaney.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Delaney's
say at
Same.
first
terrifying.
I thought you were gonna say who's scarier in a leadership stance, which I actually was going to say Bretley. But in a bad mood, I'm actually going for Delaney
Sorry,
because, like,
Delaney.
Wait.
it's a different answer.
What
Yeah,
am
that's
I like
actually
in a
very
bad mood? Because you both
observant.
answered
Bro,
me
I've lived
instantly.
with you, like,
Wait,
I'm
but
scared
am
of
I
Delaney in a bad mood,
in a
honestly.
bad mood,
Yeah.
I'm very scared of Delaney, and in a boss environment, I'm very scared of Bretley. Like, both go.
We're both terrified.
Yeah,
that is
honestly, like,
so funny.
as a sister, I'm not scared of either of you, but, in these
That is so
environments.
funny. Wow, I love it. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
who do you think of us actually intimidates people more in the real world? It's a hard
That
question.
is so hard. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like you both are probably equal for different reasons,
Yeah.
honestly. But I feel like, I guess, are we talking about like realistic?
Um,
Like, I don't.
I don't know. I feel
You
like it's
both are
more big
so
picture, but
beautiful. Obviously, I think that, like, honestly, you both intimidate people just by entering a room. But in the sense of, I guess, real estate knowledge, probably you, Bretley. But
yeah.
I just think it just depends. Like, there's
I think it
things that
depends.
Delaney
Yeah.
would like walk into a room and people would be like intimidated. I don't know.
Something
I
I
think it just
noticed
depends.
about Delaney at the ICSC conference is that she is extremely charismatic and charming around people. And she
Mhm.
can turn that on in a way. I'm a little bit more like, if I'm not feeling you, you're going to be able to tell. And I'm just like, I'm bored.
I
I want to go
agree.
somewhere
I
else.
agree.
And people
Yeah.
are probably like, ooh, like, we don't like that about her. Whereas Delaney, I feel like she can come across, you may not know how she's feeling. She's going to come across like whatever the situation requires.
Mhm.
And so in that regard, like, I may be more intimidating, but only because I don't have that ability that you do. And I actually thought it was really impressive because
Bradley, you
I
never
can't
Yeah.
told me
hide my
that.
emotions
That's
on
No,
my face.
I
nice.
I'm just like,
agree that Delaney and I think it's her hospitality background,
yeah.
honestly, but Delaney is the most charismatic, honestly, the most charismatic person I know, honestly. Like,
Wow.
I
Thank
will go
you.
out with her and I'll be like, that guy's cute. And Delaney will just walk right up to him. And this man is like laughing. She's just so good. It's not even flirty. She's just funny. She's
Yeah.
witty. She's like so likable. And I'm just like, oh
Wow.
my God, how do I can't light a candle to that. Like, she is so likable and so people just draw to her with when
Mhm.
she puts it on. And obviously
It's all fake.
maybe it's
I'm
like
just kidding.
intentional from her, but I feel like when she wants to, I can't even, it doesn't matter how badly I want to. I could think it's the cutest guy in the room and I'm still an awkward piece of mess, a bundle of, I can't put it on. And she's just so good with people. She's so friendly, anyone I introduce her to. And I feel like I'm the similar to you, Bretley. If I'm not in a good mood or if I haven't had, like, you'll know. Like, I just can't do it. I
Yeah.
cannot
I wish that I could
hide
hide that.
anything. I
Yeah,
can't.
I can. I
But
think
like, that's
that's
so
yeah.
amazing.
Wow, you guys, thank you so much. Bradley, you never told me that about ICSC. That's really interesting feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm telling you now.
I
So
know that's really
Yeah,
nice.
she
Thank you.
saved it for the pod.
I think it's because I very rarely feel like I am fully equipped to be socializing. And I very rarely feel like I'm fully in the mood to be out and about socializing. So I've had to learn to just
Like, lock
fake
in.
it till you make it. You lock
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
yeah.
And I do enjoy it. I love talking about other people more so than I like talking about myself. So it's pretty easy for me I feel like I could talk to anyone about anything. But it's definitely a light switch that I turn on. Thanks, you guys. Liberty, you are absolutely iconic in every possible way. I call you my little sunshine girl, and I just feel like nothing describes you better than that because you are an absolute ray of sunshine and you light up every room that you walk in. And it's the truest thing. I know I can see Bretley nodding right now. I know she feels the same way. When you walk into a room, it's like the energy is tangible. You are so light and happy, and you just bring such good positive energy and vibes with you. You're hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I am always trying to up my comedy game next to you. No, but truly, you're like every girl's dream best friend, and you're just an absolute incredible human. And we're so lucky that we have you as a sister. And can't believe you're a freaking social media manager and our chief marketing officer of Brick and Brand. How did we get that lucky? I don't know, but thanks, mom and dad. So thank you so much for being on Brick and Brand. You are fantastic and can't wait to have you back as soon as possible.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be on Brick and Brand, and I watch every week, and I'm giggling and crying and laughing with you guys every single week. Genuinely, I put you guys on my TV, and I'll be after work just like locked in, and I'm giggling, and it just ups my mood so much. Like, you're my two favorite people, honestly, and I don't just say that obviously because I'm your sister, but I genuinely love you guys so much, and it's such an honor to be with you guys today. And I didn't expect to be invited, but I'm so grateful. And yeah, I'm just the biggest fan of both of you. Both are like changing the world in your own ways every day. So I'm just here to say I love you, you know.
Thanks,
You're
Nugget.
such a
So
natural, Lib.
she really is such a natural. It's like she's been in front of the camera, which she's a performer. She has. Everyone go check out her music. But we always end the episode by asking what's something you might go back and tell your younger self, whether it's business or personal. I feel like you've lived a lot of life and you're obviously incredibly wise and you have a lot of experience now under your belt. What's something you might go back and say to the younger version of Liberty?
That's such a good question. I feel like just don't overcomplicate things, express yourself, let yourself grow and develop. Don't be anxious of the future, enjoy the moment. I think I would just tell myself, all of those things because that's something now I'm learning as an adult, but I feel like it would have been easier on me as a kid if I was more just relaxed and less worried about the future. And so that's something now as an adult I'm letting myself realize that you can control what's in your control, and then other things are just completely out of your control. And all you can do is just show up in the ways that you can and be accountable, take responsibility for the things that you can control. It's not that nothing is in your control. Honestly, so much of your reality is in your control. And I'm realizing that recently in the last like 6 months, so much of how we experience the world is literally up to us. And there's no room to be a victim or to pass blame or to, it is literally up to you how you experience this life. And you have one life. So that's crazy. And it's totally up to me how I experience it. But also, if you're doing the best that you can, then you just go and you just enjoy your moment and you be present and you be a good person, but don't overcomplicate things, honestly. I think that's what I would tell myself looking back. Just
I
give
love
myself a
that,
big
Liberty.
Yeah,
squeeze.
I
We've
love
asked that
that.
question to a lot of guests and no one has ever answered it actually like that at all. And I think that's like the most beautiful,
Yeah.
relatable, like simple yet complex advice that everybody can take from is don't worry that much. Just be the best person you can be and things will work out. And it's so true.
So
Thank you,
true.
Thank
Liberty, for
you.
being on Brick and Brand.
God,
We
of
will have you back
course.
soon.
Thank you
And in the
guys.
meantime, you'll see more of her amazing marketing coming out every day on Brick and Brand.
Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe and comment because it means the world to me. So do it.
Liberty,
And
we're obsessed with you. Thank you so much.
of
And we'll see you next
course.
week on Brick and
See
Brand.
you.